NFTs are pumping, with some NFTs up as much as $30,000 in just the last 7 days. With gains like this on offer, we can't afford to ignore NFTs for much longer. Therefore, in this video, I'm going to show you how to buy NFTs. I'm also going to talk about which NFT projects have some of the biggest potential for some of the biggest growth during the crypto bull market ahead, and I'm going to talk a little bit about NFTs that I personally hold. I'm also going to be talking about why we're still incredibly early for NFTs according to Google Trends, but with Ethereum heading towards all-time highs and various different funds looking to invest in NFTs, why we won't be early for much longer. So if you want to learn everything there is to know about NFTs, do me a favor, hit the like button and let's get into today's video. Now guys, before we dive in and find out about the NFT projects that I think are going to see some serious growth during this bull market ahead and what catalysts are going to drive it, just a quick disclaimer. Nothing I say in this video is financial advice. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. If you wish to invest in NFTs or crypto, you do so at your own risk because trading crypto and NFTs is risky. You can lose more money than you put in. So do not use money that you can't afford to lose and always do your own research before investing. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's get into today's video. Now guys, before we go and understand exactly what is driving the NFT market, I just want to put a few things into perspective and show you the power behind NFTs. This is OpenSea.io. It's a trading marketplace for NFTs. And I want to draw your attention across to the right-hand side. If you select the 7 days here, you can see something crazy has just started to happen across NFTs. Some of these projects are up tens of thousands of dollars in just the last 1 week. CryptoPunks, which is currently valued at $191,000 per individual NFT, is up 23% this week in Ethereum. Some of these other projects are up 30%, 50%. But I want to tell you something. These are all priced in Ethereum, so their ETH price might be up 53%. But in the last week or so, we've seen Ethereum going up 10 or 20%. And when the bull market starts to push on, there's a chance that you could see Ethereum going up 50%, maybe even 100% in a week, and some of these going up 4x in ETH. So if the ETH price goes up 50 or 100%, let's say you put in $1,000, you get $2,000 in ETH. But if your NFT is valued in ETH and your NFT goes up 4x, your 2x over here now gets times by 4, and now you're up to 8x on your $1,000 investment. This is why NFTs can be so powerful, because they act as a leveraged trade on Ethereum. Now, don't worry if you haven't got $191,000 to buy an NFT right now, it doesn't matter. There are a lot of other NFT projects that are much cheaper and still at good value that could also see some serious growth into the future as well. And if you get good at NFTs and understanding how this market works, you can actually do quite well from it, but obviously there's risks involved as well. So before we understand what the NFTs are and start to understand things like floor price, how to buy NFTs and all that good stuff, just a quick thing. Let's go and understand what's going on behind the scenes, why we're seeing this growth. And partly it's because of this. Right now, the Ethereum price at the time of making this video is $3,815, which is the highest it's been pretty much since back in December. And this is incredibly exciting because it's starting to push up against this resistance, which Ethereum's been stuck under since 2021. When this eventually breaks towards the upside, this is going to be a massive risk on signal because this is the biggest altcoin. We've seen BlackRock, Donald Trump, various institutions buying up Ethereum in huge quantities, and very soon that will push it towards the upside. And when it pumps, it's going to ignite crypto. The altcoin market will go bananas. Why? Because Ethereum signals risk on to the wider community. It's literally pumping as we speak. This is very important because, remember, BlackRock, Donald Trump, and everyone bought a ton of Ethereum down here, and they want to sell it somewhere up here. But in order for them to sell huge amounts of Ethereum up here, what have they got to do? They have to create massive amounts of hype in the marketplace. And how do they do it? They create all these news stories about how much bigger Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything is going to go. And when they do that, everyone gets bullish. Not just you and me and other crypto investors, but celebrities start to get bullish on crypto as well. If you remember in the last bull market, celebrities everywhere started to do what? They bought NFTs. Why? Because it showed their fans and followers that they were cool, that they were down with the tech, that they were smart, that they were invested in crypto. We saw Jay-Z, we saw Eminem, we saw Paris Hilton, Justin Bieber, and others spending literally millions of dollars on things like Bored Ape yachts and CryptoPunks and other things. And this was when we saw mass hype and excitement in crypto. And you will start to see this happening again, because if the celebrities are buying their NFTs to show how good they are and how hyped they are in crypto, guess who else does that? People like you, people like me. I've already done it. Look at my Twitter page. Okay, I've got a CryptoPunk right here. This is me showing that I'm a crypto bro, and this is like my status symbol within crypto. Once everyone else starts to do this, NFTs pump like crazy, and guess what? There just isn't that many NFTs in their collection, and they can go up very, very aggressively. And this is why they've been going up aggressively this week. If you jump across to my Twitter page and give me a follow, Peter_THOC, you can come down to this article here, talking about why NFTs are ripping right now and why you need to be paying attention. Because there's talk now of NFT treasury companies. What's a treasury company? Well, we've already seen Michael Saylor doing this with Bitcoin with his company MicroStrategy, where MicroStrategy has been basically buying Bitcoin and then offering shares for people to be able to get exposure for Bitcoin. We are now starting to see institutions, Wall Street, and others looking towards the NFT market to do the exact same. And these moves that we've seen this week are causing this pump. The floor price for CryptoPunks went up by $30,000 pretty much in one fell swoop as an individual bought $8 million worth of CryptoPunks. He bought the floor price, and we'll talk about that later on, pumped the NFT price of CryptoPunks up like crazy. On the very same day, Moonbirds, Pudgy Penguins, Bored Apes, and others massively rallied, and the NFT market cap jumped by $6.9 billion, which is absolutely ludicrous. You're starting to see the whales moving into position right now, nice and early. And if you didn't get in nice and early, like back into Ethereum or anything down here, then don't worry, because you're still very, very early. And this is how early you are. This is Google Trends. Search term NFT shows that we are right down here. There's nothing moving, right? No one's paying attention, but they're starting to pay attention. Go across to lunacrush.com and you can see that the mentions of NFTs are going up. The sentiment still sits down here. The engagement's still incredibly low, okay? And it's not going to be low for long. Why? We've just made this video. Now you are starting to understand the opportunity. Now everyone else is going to start to make videos about NFTs and whatever else. And if you want to be the earliest to arrive at things like this, then make sure you subscribe to the School of Crypto so that you can get in really early ahead of everyone else to get the very best gains, okay? School of Crypto is my second channel. It's more focused towards day trading as well as tutorial-based stuff to be able to maximize your gains in crypto. So if you want to be able to up your skills and your knowledge, make sure you subscribe to the School of Crypto. And as well, if you weren't early before getting into ETH or weren't early getting into different altcoins, go and subscribe to my main channel, the House of Crypto. Over there, I focus towards the macro environment. We were telling everyone that this was the best time to be getting in, while many other channels out there, in fact, tons of other YouTube channels out there, were telling you to sell, okay? We told you that it was time to be getting in because this was going to be the best opportunity. It was the very best entry. So make sure you subscribe to the House of Crypto to find out more about macro and different altcoins that I'm personally buying into, as well as NFTs as this market progresses. Now that we know that the market is likely going to pick up and we're going to see NFTs seeing more growth here, let's start to identify how to find them and what we can expect to see. Now, this is OpenSea.io, and it shows you different NFT collections on Ethereum. Ethereum is the big bet. We're seeing billions of dollars flooding into Ethereum. Solana obviously has its own NFTs and its own network, but I do think that Ethereum holds the OG NFTs, okay, the originals. Now, CryptoPunks is one that I personally bought about 6 or 7 weeks ago for around $90,000. I put about it on my Twitter page, and right now it's up about $102,000 since I made that purchase. Now, I appreciate that's quite a lot of money. I decided that I would buy a CryptoPunk instead of putting a down payment in on a house. It was a massive risk, but luckily it's paid off. Other NFTs down here, like Pudgy Penguins, have also been pumping. Pudgy Penguins is associated with Luca Nets and Pengu. It's also associated with the Abstract launch, which will be going live this summer. And according to this tweet from Finn, who's part of the Abstract ecosystem, it's going to be Abstract August. Position yourselves accordingly. So what does that mean for us? Well, potentially that those holders of these Pudgy Penguin NFTs are going to get massive airdrops from Abstract. Just as thought, okay? Now, if you can't afford a Pudgy Penguin, which is currently $61,000, don't worry. You have the mini little brothers of these NFTs, which are at 20% in the last 7 days, but this is now priced at 1.8 ETH. I appreciate it's still kind of on the expensive side. Don't worry, we're going to go cheaper. But these are potentially going to give you access to those ecosystems. In the last bull market, we saw Bored Ape Yachts giving holders access to the ApeCoin drops. They made an absolute fortune just by holding the NFTs. Some of them got 100 to 200,000 in terms of money given to them. Now, if you think that these are expensive, they are, right? But this is $49,000. In the last bull market, the floor price of Bored Ape Yachts was like $400,000 or more at some times, okay? So actually, these are still relatively underpriced compared to where they might go. Moonbirds, you can see here right now, is around $8,000. But in the last bull market, they went to being worth around 40 Ethereum. Just insane amounts of money can flood into these different projects. Now, let's just click on a project to understand what we've got here. Now, Pudgy Penguins, for example, is the collection, okay? And all of these are different variants of Pudgy Penguins. Now, you can get really down and deep into this if you so wish. But right now, you can see the cheapest one on offer is 15.9 ETH. This represents the floor price, okay? It means it's the cheapest price available to sell it. Let's say I have a Pudgy Penguin right now and I want to sell it. I know that if I put it priced at like 15.9 ETH, it would sell. So what we want to look at is the floor price, what we've seen over the last few days and what we can expect to see in the future. Now, if you click on this side here and you click on 30 days and click on the expander here, you can see that the floor price of these just about a week or so ago, just a couple of weeks ago, it was 9 ETH. And right now it's 16 ETH, which means it's gone up 6 Ethereum in just the space of like a week or two. With Ethereum currently being worth $3,800, you can see that that is a lot of money coming into that ecosystem, okay? Huge growth is going on in the OG coins. And these are not dumb money coming in, okay? These are expensive NFTs that people are buying. And another one, look, this one, Fidenza, okay? It's 37 Ethereum right now. Just a week ago, okay, you could have picked one of these up for 24 Ethereum, which is still a lot of money. But you can see it's gone up 8 Ethereum in a week. 8 Ethereum in a week is like $30,000. So much money flooded in overnight, pretty much, into crypto NFTs. Okay, the smart money are coming in force to buy NFTs. So how do we get access to NFTs without having to sell our home to buy all these crazy overpriced NFTs? Well, let's go back. We need to understand. As this market starts to get running, where is the opportunity going to be? Well, people are going to start to buy the NFTs that they already know. Okay, which NFTs do people already know? A lot of the ones are seeing growth here. Now, if you come across, you can see some of them around here, okay? And you probably see a lot of these across Twitter. People have various Pudgy Penguins as their profile pictures. Miladies as well, you know, like Crash Crypto, who's like the influencer who famously bought Brett for very cheap, has huge influence as meme coins start to expand. He owns one of these NFTs. You can see that these are going up as well. But a lot of the OG projects, as I said, have kind of sister projects. So where would I find these? Well, let me show you. Azuki, like one of the main OG ones from the last bull market, has started to show a lot of action as well, okay? Right now, it's pretty damn low. 2 Ethereum, okay? This is back at the start of the year. It went to being worth 16 Ethereum, okay? 16, it went up very quickly. It dumped down very hard. We can expect if the bull market starts to rip, this will go up very hard. Now, I appreciate this is expensive. So where do we anticipate we can access the benefit of the growth from Azuki? There's another couple of projects from Azuki called Elements, right? And all you got to do is type Azuki and you'll see some of the other ones here, okay? So this is Azuki Elements, and these are like kind of cheaper versions of Azuki, but still cool. Still come with the same sort of IP, still come with the likely upside growth that you'll see if Azuki does well, because they look very similar, right? So if you start to notice everyone makes money and everyone likes these Azukis, coming across to the Azuki Elements, which are these cheaper ones, then you can also see similar growth. Because right now, the price of these is 0.19 ETH, which is $700 or so. But you can see back into like November and into December, January, where we saw the hype in the market again, some of these went up to like 5.9 Ethereum. 5.9 Ethereum from a 0.2 is like 25x. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to happen again, but that's a 25x potential on these Azuki Elements that right now you can pick up at 0.19 ETH. Now, here's something you need to know before you invest in these. They're obviously risky. They're more risky in a way than investing in crypto. And here's the reason. If I buy one of these right now and everyone else decides that they want to start selling them off, the floor price can come down. Not only that, I can't just sell it straight away. There's no guaranteed buyer. These are illiquid, okay? I have to list it for sale. Now, if you look at the activity, there's probably a lot of sales that are going on every few hours. So if you list it, there's a very good chance that you sell it if you list it at floor price. And obviously, we're betting on the price of these continuing to go towards the upside. But when it comes to NFTs, I personally would only buy NFTs and have only been buying NFTs to try and sell into a super greedy market. And I see that coming into the future. Why? Because we know right now that no one is paying attention. But people are starting to make people pay attention. And as people start to pay more and more attention, these prices can come up quickly. And as that happens, we want to start to maybe consider getting out of them, okay? Consider getting out of them, locking in some profits. But really, I see these being running hot until very high points in the year. Now, In terms of whether you want to buy rare ones or whatever, I'm not necessarily into like finding the rarest ones, but if you click on explore, you can kind of see some of the other things about them. Because going through here, you can see that, yeah, this one is one of the top like couple of thousand or top 10%. And then you can go down the list, you can see that this one is in the top 1%, which is why it's 1.5 ETH, whereas some of the others are like 0.3. Now, it obviously gives you more risk if you go into some of these like higher, kind of like more collectible ones, but it can really pay off if suddenly this collection blows up. If everyone goes after this collection, they will want the rarest ones, okay? If no one collected Pokemon cards, right, the Charizard card or whatever it is, that made me sound like a complete nerd, wouldn't be worth anything. But because they're incredibly collectible as a collection, the rarest of the rare card is worth a lot of money, okay? So if these all start to become in demand, the rare one will obviously come way more in demand, but it's in more leveraged play because you have to pay more money, and the floor price right now is far below this rare one. So I know people say that they don't understand these. It's fine, okay? You don't have to. Just think about this. Bitcoin is an orange token. There's 21 million of them, and if you own a Bitcoin, it's worth 100K. If you own one of these different coins, right now there's 17,655 Azuki Elements coins, but each coin, instead of being a coin, has a little picture of one of these, okay? And what's cool about that is, unlike being like, I'm part of the meme coin community, I hold SPX, or whatever it might be that you hold, I can actually show you that I'm part of a community because I can put my NFT on here or whatever else. This is what we're kind of betting on. As people get more and more hyped and more into crypto, it's going to become more and more cult-like, right? Where everybody wants to have a CryptoPunk, and if you have a CryptoPunk, then you're an OG in the space. Imagine if these potentially go up to being worth $500,000 or $1 million. They then come with their own status, NFTs and everything behind them, because owning an NFT that's that much money means you must be a real OG in the space, okay? And that to me is why I'm positioning myself in NFTs. Now, I told you I would tell you which NFTs I hold. I personally hold a Moonbird, which I bought today. Unfortunately, it's already seen some pump. I bought Pudgy Penguin a few weeks ago before it went up like crazy, so I'm pretty happy with that one there. I do own a Bored Ape Yacht Club. I had one that I had stolen from me in the hack that I had back in like February or March, but I do own a Bored Ape. I also own a CryptoPunk, which you know. I own a Milady. I come down the list. I own a Doodles. Doodles was very, very popular in the last bull market. If you look at the price, like the all-time price, how it's fallen, this to me seems like a bit of a no-brainer at like 1 ETH, okay? Not financial advice, of course. But look, last bull market, these went up to 20 Ethereum each, when Ethereum was worth $4,800. Right now, they're worth 1 ETH. I think these are better bets, in my opinion, than a lot of meme coins. Just going to put that out there. But less liquid, more risky, as I've just told you. Now, Moonbird Mythics, this is what I'm talking about. If you can't afford a Moonbird, that's absolutely fine. Okay, Moonbird Mythics is also another one. Now, Moonbird doesn't have a token. The founder of this particular one said, we've never made a token yet. Okay? Lots of these NFT projects will try and launch some sort of meme token or meme coin. It enables them to boost the price of their NFTs because they could offer airdrops to people who are holding the NFTs. So these ones right now, which yes, still $700, not cheap. Okay, I'm not going to tell you that they're cheap, but they're much cheaper than some of the others. Previously, they've been up around 2.7 Ethereum. Right now, they're much cheaper than that at 0.2 Ethereum. Okay, so there's a potential that it can go much higher into the future, but obviously nothing is guaranteed. As you come down the list, there's more and more to learn about. I would highly recommend go and ask Grok, go and ask ChatGPT, what were the OG NFTs in the last bull market? Don't just take my word for it, okay? I'm going to tell you that it's CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yachts, Mutant Ape Yachts, which is a cheaper variant of Crypto Bored Ape Yachts, okay? Azuki Elements was pretty big, and there's a few others that I probably haven't got around to mentioning. Crypto Dick Butts, hold a few of those. I know Raoul Powell's also pretty bullish on those. He's got a big following. Possibly he's going to push these to his audience into the future. Not pushing these, okay? If you want to go and buy them, do so. I don't really care whether you buy them or not. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you about NFTs, and I'm positioning ourselves nice and early because I want you guys to see the best opportunity in this bull market ahead. Now, guys, if you want to have more videos into the future about NFTs, let me know. Let me know down below as well what you want me to talk about in terms of tutorials, whether you want more stuff to do with trading, what things in general, okay? But really, if you are going to go and make the effort to go and look into NFTs, I urge you to do it probably sooner rather than later. Ethereum, at the time of making this video, is pushing, okay? Just this week ahead, there is a very good chance that Ethereum breaks this trend. That takes Ethereum much higher. That moves us to risk on. And the very reasonable chance, although not guaranteed, of course, the NFTs probably do quite well from it. Now, if you want to learn more about NFTs and crypto in general, and you are kind of overwhelmed by what's going on in the crypto space, and you don't know which way to turn, then I highly recommend that you go and join the Moonhouse group, which is linked down below. Now, the Moonhouse, each and every week, we have a live Zoom call where I take you through tutorials, more in depth and longer than this one we've just done here. We also have 3 other full-time experts, as well as myself, in that group all the time, posting the different altcoins and things that we've been buying. I've been talking about the different NFTs that I've been buying in this group over the past few months, because I've been accumulating different NFTs over quite a long period of time now. We've been talking as well about the different trading setups. You can ask different questions. You can ask about your portfolio, anything, all in the Moonhouse link down below. It's designed to cut out all the noise and worry in crypto, to give you only the most important alpha to be able to maximize your opportunity in these crazy crypto markets. So make sure you go and find out about that if you want to know more. It's called the Moonhouse. Now, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. If you made it this far through, hit the like button. As always, jump down below. Just leave me a comment. It really helps boost the YouTube algorithm and gets my content out to more people, making it more worthwhile for me to do this for you. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.